What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the 5th episode of the Cycle 365. I'm your co-host, Simon Villanos.
And I'm Jesse Booten.
And we're here to talk basically all about football. We got college football and then NFL coming up next. It'll be me and Jesse and Kodey Stoffer. And so let's just get right into it. So this last week of college football was super eventful. A lot of things happened. So we're going to go in order of, the games that came out that happened on Saturday. So first things first, let's talk about that Michigan versus Wisconsin game. So Michigan lost. They lost 35-14 to Wisconsin. Jesse, what do you think about that? A lot of people picked Michigan to be a dark horse team to make it into the playoffs, including Kodey Stoffer. So what do you think?
Well, Kodey is obviously dumb. But,
Dang.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I didn't think Michigan was for real at the beginning of the year. Still don't think they're for real. I think if you go back and listen to things on our previous podcast, Jim Harbaugh is not
Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh is not the coach for Michigan anymore. I don't think Michigan can they can compete Big Ten, but I don't think they're gonna beat anyone big. I mean, this shows right here by Wisconsin beating them 35-14. I don't think they can compete with Ohio State. I don't think they can compete with, Nebraska for all I think. We're gonna see it this weekend. No, it's Ohio State, Nebraska this weekend. But
that's true.
I think they're on the same level as Nebraska. They definitely don't deserve top 20 ranking, I think.
I feel that. See, I agree with you. I said the same thing to Kodey. And I'm not trying to hate on him, but I really didn't believe in this, Michigan team. So, well, here's the thing, though. Does this win for Wisconsin, does it say more about Wisconsin or the mediocrity of Michigan?
I think both. I think it proves that Wisconsin is a good team behind Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor proved in this game even that he's for real.
Yeah.
And I think it also showed that Michigan is not. Shea Patterson, I just don't think he's the best of quarterbacks. He's not a very good quarterback.
That's fair.
He still can't take care of the ball. He still threw interceptions. They still fumble the ball. They still are dealing with turnover problems. And I just don't think. I think to answer your question, Simon, it was show that Wisconsin is for real. Michigan is not.
Okay. So you see, I didn't really get to watch a lot of that game, but could you see Wisconsin potentially making it into the college football playoffs?
I still don't think they'll make it to the college football playoff. I think they'll definitely play in the Big Ten championship.
Okay.
Because they're in the opposite side of Ohio State.
Right.
And all Michigan State and all those other ones. So I definitely think that they will make the Big Ten championship. I think they'll play. So if they win, they have that shot because usually the Big Ten team Big Ten winner makes it in.
Yeah.
If they go undefeated and win the Big Ten, I think they have a chance to get into the playoff. Yes, but I would say I don't think they're gonna make the playoff.
Okay. Yeah. So I agree with you there. I like this Wisconsin team. They got some grit. Michigan, they still. I didn't believe in them, but I know they still had talent. Over there, they definitely did between the receivers and Shea Patterson. He didn't look great, but he was still ranked pretty high up there coming out of high school. So I thought Wisconsin did a good job. Jonathan Taylor, he keeps proving himself. He's going to be an exciting NFL prospect to watch, So, hey, I'm with you right there. All right, so next game right after this, I'm pretty sure, we have Texas A&M versus Auburn. And here's the thing about it. I wasn't really paying attention to this game. I felt like A&M should have won this game. I felt like they're a lot more talented than Auburn. But I don't know. I guess this guy Bo Nix, the little freshman, he's showing that he could step up when he needs to. And he has stepped up already against, Oregon in the first game. And, I like this guy. I really do. I think he's very raw, but he has a lot of potential. He kind of has that it factor. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think another thing to look at is Kellen Mond isn't playing to the expectations that people thought he was going to.
No.
In the beginning of the year, they expected him to be, Heisman candidate, but he's just not playing up to that level right now. I'm not saying he couldn't turn around, but let's also if you look at Texas A&M's schedule, to start the season, they've had a tough schedule.
Yeah.
They really have. They lost. Their 2 losses are to Auburn and to Clemson. So
Fair.
Both top 10 teams. I think they got like I wouldn't say the short end of the stick because they're an SEC team. They should be able to compete there no matter who they play.
Fair.
But they do have a tough schedule, even just out of the gate. And you know how important those beginning games are, just to really get like a quarterback like Kellen Mond going, get him in a rhythm, and get just the whole offense in general in a rhythm. It's important to have those beginning games to get a guy like Kellen Mond going.
Fair.
And just the whole offense in general. I do think they're very talented. I think the atmosphere that they play in is great for winning games. And I think moving forward, I think that eventually Kellen Mond is going to figure it out. I think they will. I don't think...
Yeah?
Yeah, I think he'll finally start playing like people expect him, but I think by this time it's too late for Texas A&M to make a run.
Yeah.
But I think Kellen Mond will eventually figure it out and play up to his potential.
No, I got you. See, the way I see it, A&M's definitely in a downward spiral right now. You know, like, they did lose to Clemson. They lost to, Auburn, and those are both good teams. But at the same time, I do feel like those are both games they could have won if Kellen Mond, just played better. We talked about that Clemson game a couple weeks ago, and, Kellen Mond just looked terrible. He couldn't complete a drag route. He really couldn't complete, like, the simplest routes that, most college quarterbacks should be able to complete. So I don't know. I didn't really get to see much of this game either, but he hasn't stepped up. I think he will get better, but if he doesn't, I mean, they're in a downward spiral right now, so they need to buck up, because their schedule does get easier, but right now they're playing very inconsistent in my opinion.
And when you say easier, I mean maybe just a little bit. Like they play Arkansas this weekend, so they probably win that one. But then they go into Alabama, and so I mean it doesn't really get a lot easier. But after that, it lightens up a touch. I mean, again, remember they're playing the SEC, so they're playing SEC competition every week. From here on forward. So we'll see. I think another thing to look at in this game is just Auburn's defensive line versus the run game. I mean, Kellen Mond was the leading rusher for Texas A&M, and he had 26 rushing yards. So, I mean, like,
Dang.
Texas didn't have any running game, or Texas A&M didn't have any running game. And I think that chalks up I don't think Texas A&M's running game is at the same level as it has been in the past few years.
Right.
But also, I think just the Auburn defensive line. I mean, you can see it in the Oregon game, too. Like, the Auburn defensive line is just a force.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're giving that Oregon offensive line, which, it's one of the better ones in the nation. They got some dudes over there that could go possibly in the first or second round, or sometime.
No, I definitely think one will go in the first round. I think one Oregon offensive line will go first in the first round. But
see, the fact that Auburn's defensive line could really put the clamps on them and then shut down A&M like that, those are statements. So with those statements, do you think that Auburn has a chance in making it into the college football playoffs? Of course, they'd have to go through
Alabama.
The likes of Alabama, and then probably Georgia on the other side.
Yeah, I don't think they make it. I don't. I mean, I think Georgia and Alabama are both better teams. I think they'd both beat them. I just think... Okay. I think in the future, it could definitely happen when Bo Nixon grows up a little bit.
You're right.
But he's still very young, and once it comes to that prime time game against the big school, I don't think he can do it.
Okay, that's fair. He is a true freshman, so he has plenty of time.
Oh yeah,
he'll be okay.
We'll definitely see this out moving forward. I think it's going to be big time.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. All right, so this next game. This was the game of the week, if any, for college football. We're talking Georgia versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame walks into Georgia, and it was a close game. I realized last week on the podcast, I said that Georgia would blow out Notre Dame, and they won by one score. And so I accept that. That's a no. That's a no on my part. And I watched that game, and Notre Dame, that defense looked pretty stout. Their offense, it was about what I expected it to be. So there's that, but I really didn't expect this, Notre Dame defense to come out and play the way they did. But, Jake Fromm and the boys, they pulled through. Fromm made some really good throws, actually. He didn't make a lot of plays, but he made the plays that he needed to win the game. And honestly, it really impressed me. As if I was an NFL scout, this was the game to watch, And I think Jake Fromm looks like the real deal. So my question to you, Jesse, is, what do you think about Jake Fromm and his performance in this game? And, about Georgia altogether?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this, going into the season, everyone had Jake Fromm as number one quarterback and taken in the draft. all this stuff. And I think while he's not putting up the gaudy numbers that everyone thought he was, I think he's still showing that he could be that number one guy of the draft. I think if I was going to take a college football team to play an NFL team, I would take this Georgia team. I think they're the most well-rounded, and I think the most NFL-ready in all positions.
Yeah.
I think they have a good offensive line. I know one of their offensive lines will be taken in the first. He might even be the first pick overall.
Really?
Yeah. Their tackle, Andrew Thomas.
Right.
I looked at a mock draft this morning, and he's supposed to go number 1 overall over Tua. Tua's supposed to go 2. So, I mean, you have that, and then Jake Fromm, I think, should get taken in the top 10 at least.
That's fair.
Yeah, and then DeAndre Swift, sure he's not going to get taken in the first round probably. He's not probably the number 1 running back, but he's still an NFL talent and will play in the NFL.
He's somebody who could be a good rotational guy.
Yeah, and then the defense can compete with anybody in college football, let alone the NFL. I think this is the most well-rounded team, and this is the team I would take if I was going to play an NFL team.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that going into... Just to answer your question about Jake Fromm, I think right now he's game managing because that's all he has to do to win.
Right.
But I think moving forward, if he's called upon, we've seen it before, if he's called upon to make those big plays, he will do it.
Oh, yeah.
He will do it once the time comes and when it's needed.
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge fan of Jake Fromm. I think he's a great character. See, a lot of these quarterbacks coming out this year, I feel like they all have really solid character. You don't have to worry about them acting a fool or whatever. You know that they'll grow into their talent because they have great character. They're hard workers. They'll grind with you. They'll be great. This is really such a good quarterback class. And Jake Fromm, I think he showed a lot. Not that Tua hasn't so far, but Notre Dame. I'll be honest, their defense looked pretty good. They were blanketing guys. Their defensive line was real aggressive, but this Georgia team, they grinded it out. Jake Fromm made the throws he needed to, and they won this game. So in my opinion, I'll just be honest, if I had to call it right now, I could see Georgia beating Alabama. Not easily, but it'll have to be a grinded out game.
I do too. I think they could do this because again, I think Jake Fromm was not holding back, but he's not giving his all yet because he doesn't need to.
Right.
So when the time comes, he'll let it loose, and I think this is their year.
Oh yeah. He still made the plays he needed to.
Oh yeah. I also think, talking about this game, Notre Dame. I think at this point, Notre Dame now is not benefiting anymore, but it's actually hurting them not playing in a conference, being an independent.
Oh yeah.
Just because they don't get this level of competition every week.
That's true.
Whereas Georgia is playing SEC teams every week, and because if you go down their schedule, Notre Dame's next game is against Virginia, and I mean, sure, Virginia's ranked, but it's it's Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just there, and then you have Bowling Green,
okay,
USC.
That should be an easy one.
Yeah, Michigan.
We'll see.
Yeah, Virginia Tech, Duke, Navy, Boston College, Stanford. Anyways, these teams, they're all I would say, middle top tier. You could say they're not top tier, they're not middle tier, they're right in the middle.
Yeah.
Where they could obviously they mean some sorts of win. If they win, it means something.
Right.
But at the same time, it's not beating a Clemson or an Alabama every week.
Oh no.
Or an Ohio State, and just to have that competition every week would be helpful, I think, for Notre Dame.
Oh hey, I believe that, and it's kind of sad because I almost watching this game, I changed my opinion about Notre Dame. I was a little harsh. I would have liked to see them in the college football playoffs get another chance because they put up a good fight against Georgia, and Georgia's a good squad. But that's not gonna happen anymore, because they don't play in a conference, and that's just a disadvantage at in not playing a conference, So that kind of sucks, but Georgia they showed a lot. I think this might be the team that wins it all, in my opinion. This might
Definitely
be the
could
team.
be. Definitely could be.
Oh yeah. All right, so last game of college football that we're going to talk about. It was a crazy game. It happened really late at night, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it happened at no joke, 12 o'clock p.m.
Oh yeah, at Mountain Time. Yeah, so it was crazy.
Oh, sorry, I should say 12 o'clock a.m. because the p.m. is noon. This was midnight.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. Yeah, so midnight. So we're talking the UCLA versus Washington State game. So Jesse, why don't you just read off that score to me real quick?
The final score, granted in no overtime, in actual game time.
Yep.
UCLA won 67-63
over ranked Washington State.
Yeah.
So
on that though,
crazy.
not only that, UCLA was down by 32 points going into the third quarter.
True. Didn't they become like the first team to, or well, no, they were that team that came back from the most amount of points, right?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, something crazy like that. UCLA, they had to grind for this one. Also, Washington State quarterback Anthony Gordon, he threw for 9 touchdowns.
That's a record.
Yeah, so he breaks, Minshew Magic's record, right? I don't know what it was before. I think it was 7 or 8.
Can we first? I think I mentioned this last week in the podcast, but still, like,
Go for it.
all these Washington State quarterbacks, what is going on? Like Luke Falk starting in the NFL,
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew,
Yeah.
and then now you got Anthony Gordon. Like, what is in the water in Pullman, Washington?
See, it's that boy Mike Leach, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's that dude. Like, I don't want to call him a Lincoln Riley type, but he's no Lincoln Riley. Don't get me wrong, like, I really there's a huge difference between Mike Leach and Lincoln Riley. But man, these quarterbacks could ball out, huh?
All of them.
And it's crazy. So here's the first question that I'm going to ask you about this game, outside of the score. But do you think Anthony Gordon is a legit NFL prospect?
No.
No?
I don't think so. He had a good game. He threw 9 touchdowns, sure. I don't think. I mean, he's a backup.
Okay.
Well,
that's still pretty good.
He could also prove us wrong, like Gardner Minshew did. Like, no one expected him to be a starter, and now he's starting for the Jacksonville Jaguars and winning games. Like, I think that could happen to Anthony Gordon. None of us have seen him really play yet. Like, he's played in, 4 games now?
Well, I've seen him play against UNC.
Okay. I'm talking about this year. Like,
okay.
Like, this year, he's only played in 4 games so far, and they haven't hit the Pac-12 schedule really yet.
That's true.
So we'll have to wait and see what really happens when they start really playing. Because if you think about it, like you said, they played University of Northern Colorado,
Go Bears.
New Mexico State, and Houston. So, like, Houston's the best conference. Like, obviously he's putting up crazy numbers, but he hasn't really played. Like, next week they play Utah, so we'll get a real.
Oh, that's a good matchup.
We'll get a real test of what Anthony Gordon is.
Right.
I think it also helps that he has tons of weapons around him.
Yeah, that's true.
And Max Borghi and remind me of their.
I don't know. They have like a bunch of
Enos Winston Jr. or something like that.
Something like
that. Yeah, he's
yeah.
really good or whatever. So, like, he's benefiting from that. But I mean, I just don't. I guess I should say that might be a pre-motive no.
Okay.
Give it a few more weeks. Maybe ask me again week 9.
Damn. Okay. All right.
Then I'll tell you what I really think about him.
All right. That's fair.
I mean, he is playing really well right now. I just don't think I've seen him enough because, like, Gardner Minshew was there last year, so, like, we didn't see him play last year at all. This is the first year we've really seen him play, so
okay.
Give him a chance, and then I'll reevaluate in the future.
Okay, that's fair. All right. So, anyways, Washington State lost, so it really doesn't matter. Like, if there were any chances of them making the college football playoffs, those are done.
It's gone.
Yeah. So UCLA though. So they had to grind for this game. They had this one receiver who was like doing it all. He was catching passes, bringing kicks back for touchdowns.
Yeah, his name was something. Demetric Felton.
Yeah, Felton. He's good. He's a baller. Like, I'm nothing against Dorian Thompson-Robinson or Chip Kelly's offense, but like, this kid Felton was making plays when they needed to. Like, he was bringing back kicks. He was breaking off big gains. Like, he was getting runs. Like, it was crazy. Hey, NFL scouts, pay attention to this kid because he's a good one. But anyways, so UCLA, they get a big win. Were they on the road?
Yeah, it was in Washington State.
Yeah, so they get a big win on the road, comeback win. Do you think this is what turns around this program? And does Chip Kelly keep his job after this?
No. You asked me this question earlier of, like, is Anthony Gordon real? And is Chip Kelly's winning game? And I said no for both of them. I just personally think that this is one of those fluke games that happens every once in a while in college football that everyone loves to watch, but I mean, it doesn't really mean much.
You don't think it's a confidence builder?
I mean, sure, it's a confidence builder, but let's look back at what actually happened to UCLA. They lost to San Diego State and Cincinnati.
Oof, okay. Yeah, that's
so,
not
I mean,
good.
like...
Well, see, this might be that game, though.
But at the same time, I think it's a freak game. I still think Chip Kelly gets fired at the end of this year. I don't think...
They don't give him another year at least?
No, I don't think this game helps. I mean, it helps for a confidence boost, but I don't think it helps him overall. I don't think it helps UCLA overall at all.
Okay. Well, hey, we'll have to see. I think this is a big confidence boost game, but you really never know until like the next week after. And I'm pretty sure they play Arizona, which, you know, it's not the worst team they could play. It'll definitely be a test because it is UCLA. You know, if they really want to be, you know, taken seriously just as a program, you got to win this next game.
You have to. I mean, Arizona could bring their A game. They could look like garbage. I don't know. Like, that's just kind of how Arizona plays. They're really good or really bad.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair. All right, y'all. So that's the end of this segment. Next segment, we're going to talk about this new California rule involving college football. Coming up next. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Cycle 365. So on this segment, this is a little bit overdue. I'll give that credit, but we're gonna go over this new California law that is, well, it hasn't passed yet, but it's currently pending. So basically, it says that NCAA college athletes can make money off of their own likeness.
Only in the state of California.
Yeah, only in California. So this would be a California-only thing. So schools like UCLA, USC, all those schools, athletes that go to those schools can make money off of themselves. That means, you know, they could hire agents, they could take on sponsorships, you know, maybe possibly be in a new NCAA football game. But that's an interesting thing. So here, Jesse, you did play D2 football, so you know what it is to be a student athlete in college. What do you think about this law in general?
I wouldn't sign it. I wouldn't pass it.
Oh, you're going the Tim Tebow route. Okay, all right, let's go.
Being a college athlete, I don't think really there's much benefit to it at all. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it really matters either way. Like, you're focused on winning games in school. So, I mean, like, hiring an agent, like, what would that do for you?
Well, see, it's not really the agent for me. It's more about, like, having somebody that could get you sponsorship. So, like, say you got a little burger joint down the road that you kind of liked, and they're like, hey, man, you know, do a little spot for us, you know, a little ad, and we'll throw you some cash, like, every month or so. Like, is that not enticing? Wow, like, you just have to do one little thing for, like, you know, 10 minutes, and then you go back to work, you go back to school, and you're getting money at the same time.
Yeah, I think the only thing I think about is, again, being a sports marketing major.
Oh, that's true.
How many athletes are there going to be that people want to sponsor? I mean, like...
That's fair.
Maybe a running back and a quarterback. Maybe. On 4 teams.
Yeah.
So that's 8 guys total. What about the other 300?
Hey, I mean, there are small businesses all around California specifically, you know. So, you know,
I know, but let's be honest here.
know.
Like, if you're looking at equal opportunity, right?
Right.
Even if you're a small business, who's gonna care if the 6th string receiver is doing your ad? No one knows who he is.
But see, what if that guy's like a 5-star guy? Because we are talking about like the big dogs.
Well then you're gonna have 5-star athletes, and not everyone can play.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what are you gonna then people are gonna be getting mad because, oh, I'm sure I'm making money, but I'm not playing, and I came here to play football, and then they're gonna transfer out.
That's true.
But then that also comes into the fact that if the NCAA is still outside of California, they're not going to allow those 5-star athletes to come into the NCAA because they've already been paid as an athlete.
Ooh, so that's very true. So here, let me talk about this NCAA stance real quick, because I didn't think they should have said this, but you know how they are. You know, they said that this law is unconstitutional. So they said it's unconstitutional, and they said they basically threatened all these California schools that if you pass this law, then you will be banned from not only playoff play, but like bowl games and, you know, national championship play, obviously, because you're already banned from playoffs. So we're talking about a shortened season, and basically these California college football teams, well, okay, not just football teams, but just, you know, sports teams, they'll be ostracized basically, and that'll be it. And so if you are a student athlete coming in, basically, you know, California, these California schools might have an advantage over, like, say, an Alabama, or maybe, you know, for basketball, like North Carolina or Duke, because, you know what, you may not be they could say to these athletes, you may not be here for a long time, but we could get you money, you know? And, you know, like every athlete wants to believe they can go pro, but, you know, deep down, let's be honest, not many really believe that, because there are a lot of athletes, you know, that's just how it is. It's a percentage. So if you're just some, you know, run-of-the-mill athlete, you know, you were good and all that, you're good enough to go to D1, are you going to pick, you know, all right, I'll go to a school where I could compete for a national championship every year, but really get nothing outside of an education, or I could go to a school in California like, say, a USC or a UCLA, and get this money, play, and still have the potential to be, you know, drafted or picked up by a pro team. So that's the decision many of these athletes will have to face. Do you not think that is, you know, enticing or unfair to a degree?
I think it is, but being a college athlete like you said, and just kind of knowing most athletes, I think, as myself, I would choose to go with the NCAA outside of California. It just has way more opportunity.
Right.
And I think most college athletes would lean that way. I think there would be those few hotheads, like an Antonio Brown, let's say.
Okay.
A college or a high school Antonio Brown will be like, oh, I want to go make money right away.
Right.
So there's going to be that handful, but at the same time, I think the majority of the college athletes coming, like, or high school athletes going into college would choose the other route just because they have more opportunity.
Okay. Well, see, I could see how you think that. Like, personally, I wouldn't mind making a little bit of money on the side. Mm-hmm. Plus, you know, the stipend that they give you and whatnot, if, you know, you're a high enough D1 athlete and all that. You know, I think, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think that's a good deal. But you did make a good point earlier. You did say, you know, if they do go to one of these California schools and they even do one ad, they can't really transfer out. Or if they get cut, that's it. You know, You have to either, like, go to another California school, which, you know, there are a solid amount out there, but it's hard as is. Or, you know, your playing career is done and you got to go semi-pro or something like that, you know. And, you know, that might not be ideal for some athletes. But maybe, you know, California passes this law. Washington might come up. Oregon might come up with, and, you know, it might just be an avalanche of states after that coming out with this.
And you got to look at the fact that then, well, sure, if the avalanche starts, so if the whole West Coast is doing it, then why not just make the whole country do it? You know, like,
it could happen.
Yeah, but then, so I just, like, I think you should just go one way or the other. I don't think you should have two separate things. Like, obviously, if it happened, California would have to make their own league.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they probably won't. I can't see them staying in the Pac-12 because it won't matter. Like, even if you win a lot of games, you're not going to be in the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah, so I just think this would hurt college football. No, I'm not saying the NCAA. NCAA is a whole nother thing. The organization is, I don't know, kind of, I guess you could say, screwed up.
Okay.
So I don't think, and I think, even though I'm not for this, I will agree with you in the fact that I don't think the NCAA, it has nothing to do with the Constitution.
Well, yeah, no,
so,
it doesn't.
I mean, like,
that was just dumb, being greedy.
Yeah, that was a dumb statement. But I think, I just think as college football has become, I guess you could say, a Saturday tradition or like a big part of American culture.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think having the division between California, East Coast, and the rest of the United States would just have a negative impact on the game.
But see, here's the thing, though. What, like, hypothetically, would you feel better about this law if it wasn't just California, but you knew if California passed this law, let's say Oregon, Washington, Colorado, we'll throw in Arizona, and maybe even Oklahoma, all those states, if you knew that if California passed this law, all those states would follow suit, would you feel better about it?
I don't know. I just think, I mean, it's kind of a weird comparison here, but if you compare it to baseball, right? Because baseball, you can get drafted straight out of high school and go pro. And I've also seen that firsthand because I've had a few friends that went to school with me in high school get drafted straight out of high school.
Right.
And I just don't understand how, like, these kids are not ready for that. I don't think, like, most of them have not grown up in a household that, at that point in their life, know how to manage money, let alone millions of dollars.
That's fair.
I think this is just setting the kids up for failure if they're getting paid. And at the same time, like you said, if you do just one sponsorship, how much are you going to actually make?
Okay.
You're not going to make a ton. And then talking to Kodey earlier, he was talking about the Mackenzie Milton thing, how like he tore his ACL or the whole leg basically.
Because he risked it all, yeah.
Yeah. In the same time, I was thinking about like he's still good. Like he's still on scholarship, correct?
I mean,
like they're still gonna pay for his schooling.
Yeah, because he only has like 1 more year
Yeah.
left. But
So he's still in the long run. It wouldn't have mattered if he made money playing football then or not, because he's still gonna get his education. He's still gonna make plenty of money after school.
Okay.
So I just think overall it's not beneficial to the athletes. I really don't.
Okay. All right. See, it's hard to argue against you because you were there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know athletes who have been there too, but there's a difference between knowing them and then actually experiencing it. And see, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I do feel like, what if it was just nationally like a thing, because this will set a precedent if it passes, if it doesn't, then nobody's going to care about it. But if it does pass, then, you could expect other states to try to like force this law forward,
I just think.
If all the colleges are doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can it really not benefit an athlete if they have money and they're staying in college, they have their education still, and they're playing football and they still have the same opportunities to go pro, So if everyone, if this law passed and eventually, everyone was under this law, would you feel better about it then?
I mean, sure, it might benefit a few that here and there then, if everyone in the United States used it.
Okay.
But at the same point, it would change football, really, in general.
Well, yeah, it would.
It would change football completely. I mean, even at the pro level.
How so?
Well, I mean, the kids are already basically pros. Like, if you look up professionalism, it's receiving money or benefits for doing something. Correct?
Right, yeah.
So basically, you're already a pro athlete even if you're in college.
I mean, yeah, in a way, but it doesn't necessarily translate to money. Because here's another thing to think about too. So say, you are getting college education, which, is important to a degree, but what if you pick a major that's not your thing? You're not going to use that degree when you graduate college, well, if that happens. Because, you got to think about it. You are an 18-year-old, basically, you're being told that, all right, you got to make a decision on what career you want right now as an 18-year-old. Because if you don't, I mean, then there goes your scholarship money and time, it's going, so you got to choose, eventually so you could get ahead of that. So, is that really fair for an 18-year-old who may not know what he or she wants to do,
I mean, you look at it that way, yeah, sure, colleges are asking that, but I know plenty of people that don't figure out what they want to do until they're seniors in college.
Well, see, exactly, though.
Uh-huh.
But, won't you want to have money, a little bit extra money so that just in case, you have to change your major, you could stay in college a little bit longer, buy some time to go to those classes and all that.
I think also, if you do research on the market for jobs in general,
right,
in today's day and age, sure, if you have your field's major, it helps, but I don't really think, unless it's drastically different, you're trying to work in sports and you have a fine arts degree, that would obviously affect something.
Right, yeah.
But most employers, and even ones that make a lot of money, are just looking for a college degree in general.
It's got to be a college degree that's related, though. To a degree, it depends what it is.
I mean, I would say, if it's a very specialized job, obviously I want to see that. But if you're gonna go just work in New York City at one of those buildings for Quest, they just want to know that you finished school. They don't care what degree it is.
Okay.
And that's just kind of how the economy is working these days.
Okay.
And I think I'm also a big believer in this, and it's really sucky, but in today's day and age, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It really is.
That's the thing, though. Honestly, for these bigger schools, college athletes, they're gonna have connections. The bigger the school, the more connections you have. If you go to an Alabama, it's a guarantee that there's gotta be somebody that that's all Roll Tide and stuff, and they'll hook you up with a job. But say you go to a lower D1 school, like a University of Northern Colorado,
mm-hmm.
You don't exactly get that.
I mean, I have a few options, but at the same point,
but it's not Alabama options.
Yeah, but to your point here, I guess this is an unrelated topic, really. Of,
It is.
If you who you know, not what you know, because like it doesn't matter if you have money or not.
Yeah.
In that situation, so like if they're getting paid, it doesn't matter. If they're not getting paid, it doesn't matter in that situation.
Well, see, I meant like the money. It'd be more of like a cushion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all these athletes that play at high-level Division I athletes, like a team that plays at USC, or athlete that plays at USC or UCLA, their cushion is the fact that they don't have to pay to go to school. So they have all that money that like normal people are spending on college. They have that already. There's in their bank account still. So that could be your cushion.
But then you get an extra cushion with that money. So it's the scholarship plus, you know, a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm. I think this will be my last point on why I don't think it's beneficial for the game. If you look at NBA, the National Basketball National Basketball Association, and just really any professional sport organization in general, like those players are playing for paychecks. Obviously, they don't obviously they care about the game, but if you look at the atmosphere of pro and college football, like the athletes are playing the game because they love the game. You know?
Is that always the point though? Because there are some that hate it, you know, but they're just there to like, you know, they want to have a college education.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, then most of the people, sure, obviously they love the game in the NFL.
Right.
Like the players love the game. They're also there because they're good enough to be there.
That's true.
You know, but these guys like you're gonna hate me for this, but Sam Ehlinger. Okay.
Yeah.
He may not make a lot of money in the NFL.
Yeah.
But he's still a spectacle to watch in college.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone loves to watch him because he loves the game.
That's
and
true.
wants to play the game. He doesn't care if he gets paid for it or not. He just loves to play football.
Well, see, that's true, but I mean, okay, yeah, you're right though. You're right though.
So what I'm getting at
go on.
is that if you add this incentive of money to college athletes or to college just sports in general, are the kids are now, or the athletes are just going to come in and say, "Where's my paycheck? I don't care if we win or lose."
Oh, okay.
You know, they're just I just want my money. I don't care about this game.
Okay. See, but that's fair though. But you'll still have guys like Sam Ehlinger. He's still gonna want to be a Longhorn. You know his story, right? He was born to do this.
Yeah.
He was born to be a Longhorn. You know, both his parents were, obviously his dad tragically died, but he was born to be a Longhorn. So you'll have guys like an Ehlinger, or even going a little bit farther back, like a Tim Tebow, who know that they want to go to this college, and they'll still play with that passion because it's college football. Baby,
yeah, it is college football. But again, if you add this money aspect to it, the money is the root of all evil if you really think about it.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah, so sure, out of the gates, maybe there's something saying, "Oh, I want to go play for UCLA."
Okay.
10 years down the road, they're like, "I don't care where I play. I just want money."
Okay.
And I just think it takes the whole atmosphere and what college football is made and built to do out of it.
Okay. See, I get what you're saying right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's respectable because I do love the atmosphere of college football, because it definitely, it feels more high stakes than an NFL,
Yeah.
I bet if you went to that Georgia-Notre Dame game versus, in Atlanta versus the Atlanta versus Colts game, actually,
yeah.
That Georgia-Notre Dame game will be popping off, harder than at an,
Mm-hmm.
Falcons-Colts game. Because, you got two hardcore fan bases in the Georgia Bulldogs and then the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that both want to win. And, I do think the fans make up a big part of it, but you do have a point with the whole athlete, argument.
Athlete buy-in.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
All right. Okay, then. So we'll have to see, what will happen. Hey, we did talk about this. NCAA football games, they might be coming back, if this law does pass. That'd be a plus, though. I know you would love that. I know you would love that.
Okay, but if it got passed in California, it would just be the California college football game.
Yeah. UCLA versus USC.
Every week, baby!
Plus Stanford, I guess, or, Fresno State. Whatever.
You want to play with Fresno State?
I mean, no, bro, but, if they did a California, NCAA, and plus, you could create a bunch of teams, that'd be dope.
Okay, well, you can create teams, so, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we'll just have to see what'll happen. But, all right, next up, we got Kodey coming back on. We're going to be talking NFL football, going through all the big highlights and stuff that happened in week
3.
In week 3 of the NFL. Coming up next.
Welcome back to the Cycle 365. We're gonna welcome in Kodey now.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna talk about our next segment, NFL. But first,
Okay.
we have a new segment. Not a segment, a new bit.
Okay.
I need a drum roll, please. It's the question of the week. I need a drum roll.
Hope the mic picks that up.
Do mascots have mythical powers?
What do you mean? Like
No.
Like
Do they have
superstitious?
mythical powers? That's the question. Do mascots have mythical powers?
So, here's the reason that mascots don't have powers. You remember? Help me remember the story, and then I can answer the question.
Okay. What's the story?
Didn't the Ram for CSU die a few years ago before the showdown?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Rams have not won the showdown since the Ram died.
Okay,
Mythical
but then-
powers.
So, clearly they do have mythical powers.
Yeah.
Because Ralphie's not dead, and you know,
See,
the Buffs are...
Okay,
Go on,
okay,
go on.
okay. Here's the thing. Let's think about this. Think about it. Last year, Bebo the Longhorn attacked the Bulldog
Oh yeah, that's
in
true.
the Sugar Bowl, and Texas won.
So what you're saying is that you want our mascots to fight each other? For
No.
Is that-
No, the question is like,
We do not condone animal abuse on the cycle.
That's what you said, Jesse. Go on.
You
Go
know.
on.
it's just a question. Like, it's gonna be a poll on social media. We'll see what the fans think.
Okay.
But
I vote yay.
I think they did. I think
I-
okay. They might not have mythical powers, but they definitely have influence on the game.
I'm a superstitious man. I believe in luck, and mascots are a part of luck.
There you
So,
I buy into that too. Actually, after you mentioned the whole Bebo thing, you were right. I knew
Yeah.
that was a sign.
as soon as you start talking about U of T, Simon starts to listen.
Okay.
So we've addressed that question.
Yeah.
We are all in favor of mascots
Okay.
influencing
Here's
the
the
game.
last question
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you about that thing. What about obviously we all can agree that live living mascots have an effect. What about the other mascots?
I
Like the costume one.
Yeah, the costume mascots.
I don't think so. I think that they're... Never mind, I can't say that one. But anyways, they're just people,
Yeah.
you know, and
You
they're
ever-
just wearing a Halloween costume.
You ever played NCAA? Play mascot matchup?
Well, I'm aware of mascot mashup, but
Matchup? You mean matchup?
matchup. I said it right one of those times.
Same
We'll
thing.
keep that one. But I have played it, but it's just a fun mode, you know. It doesn't...
But they do backflips and front flips instead of juking. So just saying. Anyway,
That's true.
that is it for the question of the week. The poll will be on our social media. Chime in. We want to see what you guys think.
All right. Well,
I'm going to vote yes, because
that
I
was the
follow
thing.
us on social media.
All right.
me too. So follow us on social media. Our links will be down below. All right, y'all. So we got the first thing. We're gonna hit all the big headlines so far. So let's talk about the backup quarterback play. So there are a couple backups that did play this week. I'm talking about Mason Rudolph, Teddy Bridgewater,
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen, right? And then I guess you could throw in Luke Falk. So here. How about y'all answer this for me? Who was the most impressive backup to play this week?
You forgot one. Most impressive. Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah.
See,
Sorry,
I don't...
Well, Daniel Jones, he'll be coming up, but I didn't include that.
You don't
See,
think
I
he's-
wouldn't include him because those other guys are filling in
Yeah.
at the
Okay.
moment.
All right.
So I think that's the difference between... Daniel Jones has that job for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. We'll talk
Okay.
about Daniel Jones coming up pretty soon. We have a bit to talk about that.
All right.
actually.
Give me the options again. You got Teddy Bridgewater.
Kyle Allen.
Mason Rudolph.
I'm gonna have to
Well,
go.
you can't go with Mason Rudolph because his team didn't win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Teddy Bridgewater because
Yeah.
the Saints won.
See, I will disagree with you on that because while the Saints did win, Alvin Kamara had a day
Yeah.
that day, and the Saints also scored on defense and special teams versus the Panthers where Kyle Allen threw 4 touchdowns. And, you know, that guy, Kyle Allen, I don't know if y'all know this, but he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. And then he was a teammate of Kyler Murray at Texas A&M.
Oh yeah.
And he transferred to Houston, where after one game where he threw 4 picks, he got benched, and then he declared for the draft, and went undrafted before throwing 4 touchdowns over that vaunted Arizona defense.
Okay.
He also had a year. To be honest.
I think my
Yeah.
question is then do you decide about like moving forward who's the best or just the best overall week?
Most impressed by this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I would
you
take
can say
Teddy
that.
Bridgewater over Kyle. Kyle Allen can't sustain that. One of his touchdown passes was over 3 defenders off his back foot. So, like, you're not gonna get away. You're not gonna do that against teams that aren't the Arizona Cardinals because their defense is trash. So like,
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
moving forward, you would want to take backup wise Teddy Bridgewater because he's the game manager.
absolutely.
Okay.
And I believe Teddy Bridgewater is a starting level quarterback in the NFL.
I do too,
Period.
actually.
He had a good run in Minnesota that a lot of people forget about because it's been a while since he's played.
Yeah.
But he did well in his first meaningful game, and I agree with you that going forward he's more impressive. But Kyle Allen's performance last week was nuts.
Yeah, I'll have to agree on that. Kyle Allen really impressed me. He looked good. Obviously, he has weapons with DJ Moore and Christian McCaffrey, but, he used those weapons really well, and he did a little bit more, too. So I like that. So how about this? Moving forward, this might be a little bit obvious, but moving forward, which one of these backups has the best chance of staying the starter?
Teddy Bridgewater.
I feel like if Drew Brees comes back, then they're going to start Drew Brees. But that's Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback of the future for the Saints. That's why they signed him, and that's why they continue to re-sign him. It's because they have faith in him. And so do his teammates. I don't know if you saw Alvin Kamara's press conference, but all he did was praise Teddy the entire time.
Yeah.
Well, Luke Falk is not the starter there,
Luke-
obviously.
No.
So
People are waiting for Sam Darnold, which is saying a lot.
Oh yeah.
So
Sam Darnold is 1,000 miles above Luke Falk.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can't pick him.
Are we including Gardner Minshew in this conversation?
No.
Because
He can
Nick
def-
Foles is the backup, but Gardner Minshew could potentially be the starter if he continues to ball out.
that's
Yeah.
true.
But they did pay Nick Foles a lot.
He did.
A lot.
I think $46 million.
Yeah, they
It's
paid him a solid, and it's guarantees too.
Yeah.
So they paid him a good amount.
Yeah. All right. Anyways,
Wait, you didn't say who would?
that's Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying Mason Rudolph because Big Ben's not coming back.
You're right.
So
But I don't think
Okay. For this year, probably, and into the future, yes.
okay.
I'll agree with you, but I'm in no way, shape, or form am I saying Rudolph is better than Bridgewater. I want to clarify that because he's not.
Ooh. Okay.
I also-
all right. We'll see.
If you go back to the podcast for last week, I also say, like I said, with this draft class coming up, I think Mason Rudolph can get overtaken by one of these guys coming in the draft.
As a Steelers fan, I could see that happening. How do you? God, we forced 5 turnovers and we still lost. We became the first NFL team in history to do that, and
No.
that's on the offense.
Absolutely.
You joined the Chargers. Chargers actually had 5 turnovers against the Broncos in 2016, and they were up 24-0 at half before the Broncos scored 35 unanswered points behind Peyton Manning and company.
Is that true? Well, then
Yes, it
NFL.com is lying to me then. Because I thought, okay. Well, still, though, there's only 2 teams.
Yeah,
And
that's on the offense and
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph in particular.
And we never led that game either, like the Chargers. Because I feel like if we did go up early, say we score, 3 times off of those first 3 turnovers, we would have been fine. Up 21-0, we just hand the ball off over and over again. But instead, we choked and we didn't win.
And you guys fumbled the game away quite literally and gave the Niners a chance to win with 2 minutes left.
There are a lot of things that went wrong. But anyways, all right, y'all. So let's talk about Daniel Jones. He came up a little bit. How impressed are you with Daniel Jones?
He had an impressive first week, but like a backup, I don't think he can sustain it moving forward. I mean, he'll be a good quarterback, but I don't think he's going to have this amount, these numbers again.
The Buccaneers are not that good on
No.
the defensive side of the ball. Plus, I feel like something that teams didn't really prepare for from Daniel Jones that we saw a lot during week 1 and that changes the entire Giants dynamic is he's mobile.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure he had 2 rushing touchdowns.
He
and
was
did.
the leading rusher in the game.
Yeah, because
The
Saquon
Giants.
got hurt, too.
Yeah.
and
Only 28 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
his game-winning touchdown was a 7-yard touchdown run right up the middle.
Yep.
And that's something that Eli wouldn't have done that. 'Cause he's an old
Well,
man.
Yeah.
And, well, maybe young Eli, but not this Eli. He would have stayed in the pocket, held on to it,
Throw a pick.
throw a pick, throw an incomplete pass, or get sacked. And Daniel Jones just brings a new dynamic to the Giants' offense. But I don't think it's sustainable because, A, Saquon is out for 4 to 8 weeks, and that's a very nice crutch to have as a young quarterback.
True.
And B, teams have film on Daniel Jones now, and they'll know what to expect. So
I
there'll
think-
definitely be adjustments.
I think for him, though, a good thing that he has is he has won over that huddle.
Well, yeah.
If you watch watch anything really about Daniel Jones right now. They're talking about how like we had never seen this side of him, and we're all for him. Like, so I think that's working in his favor. But again, I don't think moving forward he's gonna do this again.
Do you think he could win Rookie of the Year?
I don't think so.
Who's his competition? Dwayne Haskins is not going to play because Jay Gruden's an
Kyler
idiot.
Murray. He's been a solid force. He's stabilized that Cardinals, team.
Kyler Murray has less wins than Daniel Jones.
Well, yeah,
and more games played.
He has a least talented roster, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it'll be a battle between, but I don't think Daniel Jones will win. Like I said, I think this is an overreaction. I think he had a good week, but I don't think it's going to be like this every week in and week out.
I don't think it'll be like this every week, but if he wins more games than Kyler, then he probably deserves
Rookie
of the Year.
Well, so are y'all impressed at all, though, or no?
It was impressive.
I mean, I definitely didn't expect it from mild-mannered check-down Jones.
Yeah.
Okay,
I definitely... I can tell you during the draft that I was like, I can't believe the Giants took him number 6. I'm pretty sure everyone in this room felt the exact same way.
I mean... Yeah, so, okay, here's the thing. Let me give y'all my little opinion on it. So I felt that same way, too. But I did feel like he was a first-round talent, and maybe like a late first-round talent, and maybe an early second-round guy. Because, he had a great coach in college, Cutliff, who coached, I'm pretty sure, both the Manning brothers. So his mechanics, in my opinion, were, like, perfect. Like, they were pretty much up there with Kyler Murray, but he's a bigger guy. He's a pocket passer. His arm is weaker, but, he processes well. And he makes the right, he's not going to lose you a game. And I'll be honest, I really didn't see anything new from Daniel Jones in this game, but he did look composed. And I kind of knew that coming in because he did play for a trash Duke team in college, so he's used to getting slammed. And I don't know if y'all saw the highlights of that game, but he was getting murdered after that second quarter.
The tackles were getting bull rushed right into him.
Oh, yeah. Like, he was getting hit in the back. He was getting, hits right under the chin. There was no way he could win. I'm pretty sure there were a couple of drives where he got sacked by Shaquille Barrett 3 straight times.
Shaq Barrett, top 3 in the NFL in sacks.
That's true because of that Giants offensive line. But he hung in there. He stayed true to himself and he won the game. Granted, the Buccaneers kind of gave it away to them, but it takes toughness to do that.
How different do you think the headline is if the Buccaneers make that last-second field goal and win the game? Do you think anyone cares about Daniel Jones?
Nope, I think so.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it'll be like a valiant effort type of thing like they did with Kyler Murray the first week when he tied.
But he tied. He didn't lose.
I mean, there's tie.
No one talks about Kyler Murray now that he's losing games.
I mean, it's been 2 weeks.
Kyler Murray also had it was a comeback win or a comeback tie, I guess you could say.
Well, this was a comeback win in a way.
They were down by 18.
Yeah, but
Eli Manning is 0-44 in those games, and Daniel Jones is 1-0 when trailing by 18.
There you go.
Okay.
Here's the last question on that then.
Okay.
Who has a better NFL career, Daniel Jones or Dwayne Haskins?
Oh.
Well, if Jay Gruden remains the Redskins head coach, then Daniel Jones. Because Jay Gruden's an idiot.
Yeah.
He can run any quarterback's career into the ground, and he's continuing to start Case Keenum. But Haskins will get his chance, and it's hard to say Haskins without seeing him play a real game.
Yeah. I like Haskins. In preseason I did a couple raw reactions. He looked good. He has the arm talent. He definitely has a better arm and is more athletic, and probably has better arm talent than Daniel Jones. He does have better arm talent, but we haven't really seen him play in the situations that Daniel Jones has played in. How will Haskins react when he gets slammed 6 or 7 times, and then still come back and try to win?
Yeah, who knows? Could be another Robert Griffin III dish.
Maybe, but we'll have to see. I like Daniel Jones though. I think people
I like
are
them
gonna,
both.
Yeah,
and I want to see Haskins.
Oh yeah. I think this is a great quarterback class, to be honest. Still, and then we have another great one coming up. But you can't win them all. I think Daniel Jones, he's going to be a steady force for the Giants, which is what they need right now.
They're not going to win over 7 games.
No.
That's my final prediction.
No. All right, so last little thing right here about the NFL. So surprise undefeated teams. So there are only a handful of teams in the NFL that are undefeated. There's 8. Well, that's still
a little
over
a half.
A little bit over. So it's been 3 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at the Rams, the Packers, the
San Francisco,
the Cowboys, right?
Yep.
Kansas City,
New England, and Buffalo.
You're
missing the Lions. They're undefeated.
They are technically undefeated.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay,
2-1.
sure,
They're
whatever.
they have not lost. Defeat means lose.
Fine. The
Which, by the way, the
Lions.
Lions are fake. So
Okay,
they're not
alright,
gonna,
okay,
they
well
face
then-
the Chiefs this week.
Here, well then let's just take them out of the conversation then, you know? But
I just
so-
wanted to address, through week 3, the Lions deserve the title of undefeated.
So good job, Detroit.
Okay, sure. Sure, we'll give them that. But out of all these teams, minus the Lions, who's the most surprising undefeated team for y'all?
Go ahead, Cody. You can go first. Or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
I'm going to say San Francisco.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it comes down to obviously San Francisco and Buffalo, in my case.
Okay.
But I mean, Buffalo had some pieces. I think going into the season, no one really knew anything about San Francisco. Like Jimmy Garoppolo was gonna be good. I think the only person that they knew was gonna be good. Well, they had Tevin Coleman coming in, but he got hurt first week.
Right.
So like there goes the running game, but apparently not. And then they had George Kittle was the only one really there.
Anything,
Yeah. And everyone, if you go back to preseason, I guess you could say, everyone was hyped on Dante Pettis, but he's absolutely done nothing. So I mean, it's just surprising all around for like what is going on. Like the defense is playing well.
I'd have to agree that the Niners are the most surprising. The only reason I hesitated to say them is because I think that they're phonies. Every win that they have is so sloppy, and their turnovers they hurt my head. It hurts my head to watch the San Francisco 49ers play football games and win the way that they're winning because they are trash. They are pretenders. We will see it coming out of their bye week. They're going to get clowned. They're not going to win more than 7 games this year.
Exactly. So that's why it's the most surprising right now.
Okay, well that's fair. So here's the thing, like Cody, do you believe that all the wins that the Niners have, do you think that those are undeserved wins?
Well, I don't believe that they're undeserved wins. I just think that the other team played sloppier than they did. I mean,
So they're
the
undeserved.
Steelers beat themselves. The
Yep.
Buccaneers beat themselves.
Yep.
And, okay, they beat the Bengals. There. I'll award the Niners a win over the Bengals.
Well, they won by 1 over the Bengals.
Okay,
so-
let me give you
No,
this.
they won 41-17.
I wanna
Wait.
tell you this real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah, they blew
Oh,
them out.
okay, my fault. I was
Simon.
thinking of a different team.
they blew them out.
Yeah, okay.
But
They
it's
have-
the Bengals.
It was
They
the
have
Seahawks. That's right.
They have a plus 42 point differential. So I mean, like obviously with that one game, that's what really did it. But if you look at it like that and you don't know, like their offense seems to be playing okay.
You want to hear a stat about the Niners
Yeah.
that
What?
sells it for me? Their turnover differential is -1, and it's the worst among teams with a winning record, period, in the NFL. If that doesn't... They can't sustain that
No,
for
yeah,
an
they won't
entire
sustain
game.
it.
There's
They
no
won't
way.
sustain it. That's why they're the
I
most-
feel like the Bills... I feel like any team on there, including Detroit, will end up with more wins than the Niners this year.
Whoa, even
Yeah.
the Bills?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no. The Bills are going to continue to ball out.
Okay.
And you want to
We have-
hear my
yeah,
take on the Bills?
Yeah, let's talk about the Bills. Go ahead.
So my take on the Bills, okay, they beat, pretty lackluster teams in the Bengals, the Jets, and the Giants, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about who they beat, it's about how they beat them. That's why I think the Cowboys are legit, is because they've blown out these bad teams.
Yeah.
The Bills have come back in all of their games. They've been behind in the fourth quarter of all of their games
It's true.
and hung in there and won through timely defense and timely plays by Josh Allen in the offense. And I feel like they can only improve from there. Like Tre'Davious White, he ended the game last week off a deflected pass interception that sealed the deal against the Bengals when they were inside the 50. Like, you can't teach clutch, but the Bills have clutch players.
That's true. I believe in them too. I'll be honest though, Josh Allen, he's putting them in some of these weird little situations where they have to come back. I've watched him closely. He's missed a lot of open passes to Zay Jones and all his receivers. And honestly, if he completed those, these games would be blowouts. But he doesn't. And I'll be honest, it doesn't look like he improved from an accuracy standpoint. So we'll just have to see. Maybe he's just having a rough start. But he's Josh Allen is what's gonna make the Buffalo Bills go. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, and he's got a big challenge coming up in New England this week, so we'll have to
That's true.
see if he's for real.
He makes some very head-scratching throws sometimes, too. Like the
does.
one off his back foot that was intercepted by Cincinnati this week
There you go.
kind of made me yak in my mouth.
Yeah.
But they still won. They still won the game.
Do you think Buffalo's gonna beat? Do they have a chance to beat the Patriots?
I think they have a chance.
Yes.
I think they obviously have a chance. I don't think they will, but I think they have a chance.
There's a term called any given Sunday, Simon.
Well, how big is that chance then?
I'd give them a 40% chance. I think, like you said, it goes.
Okay.
all depends upon how Josh Allen plays. I think if he plays good, I think they could win. I think they have a talented team enough to beat New England.
If Josh Allen doesn't throw more than 2 picks, they could hang in this game because their defense is that good.
Yep,
that's fair.
We're gonna see the Patriots not score over 30 for the first time this week. Bold prediction.
I don't know if that's that bold, but that's fair. I could see that happening. All right, y'all. So that's pretty much it for this segment. But we're gonna do one more thing.
So if you're expecting us to talk about Antonio Brown, we're not. As for this Thursday's game of the Eagles in Green Bay, I've gotten word from Jesse that his pick is Green Bay.
That's correct.
As is my pick.
I'm picking Green Bay.
And
What?
Simon's pick is the Eagles, who are 1-2, and they look like trash. But that's all right. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and Simon is near the bottom half of our pick'em league. So.
Okay, here. No. Well, now I gotta defend myself.
Yeah,
now.
let's hear it, Simon.
Yeah, we got
Okay.
No, I want to hear your take.
Okay. Here's the thing. The Philadelphia Eagles, y'all have let me down pretty much every week because I've pretty much picked y'all every week so far. And I feel like those are winnable games. But we got Alshon Jeffrey coming back. Is Deshaun Jackson coming back?
Nope.
Not yet.
Nope,
Still
that's
out.
fine. You got Alshon Jeffrey coming back. Carson Wentz, they lost last week, right?
They did. They
So
lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, they lost 2 in a row. So, hey, this is prime time. You got to win if you want to stay in contention. Because right now, the Cowboys are leading your division. And if you lose another game, I'll guarantee it, the Cowboys will probably win this week because they're motivated by y'all's failure, pretty much. Because they're going to steal this division if you let them. So I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to come out here. They're going to play with purpose because they know, hey, if we lose this game, then, the desperateness starts to creep in. And you don't ever want that on a football team. You want to be even keeled. And so I think, for the Eagles, this is... I don't want to say it.
This is a must-win game in Week 4?
I would say so, yeah.
But here's what I'm gonna say about that is
The Eagles
I don't think Dallas is gonna steal the division at all. I think Dallas is gonna outright win that division. I don't think
that's why they gotta win it.
No, but I don't think they're gonna that's what I said. I think Philadelphia's gonna lose, and I don't think that Dallas is gonna steal it. I think they're gonna run away with it.
Okay.
Being the biggest believer of the Eagles in the preseason out of everyone in this room, I had them going 14-2, and they've already matched
Cody
the loss total from my predictions, and I'm gonna stick a fork in them because they're playing sloppy. And if you're gonna come into Green Bay against that defense playing the way you have been, you're gonna get crushed. I'm taking Packers by over 10.
At the same
Over
time,
10,
the reason I'm picking the Green Bay Packers is if you watch, they played on Thursday night in the Week 1, Thursday Night Football, right? Everyone watched them. Granted, the Bears played terrible, but so did Green Bay. Green Bay didn't play that good. But I think over these last 3 weeks, I think they have reevaluated, come together as a team, and I think they're on running at full cylinders right now. Aaron Rodgers is making the plays. Their defense is doing well, and they're just a complete team now. I think they're going to just put it to Philadelphia.
They lead the league in turnovers,
That's
and
true.
that'll continue after this week, after Philadelphia has 4 turnovers.
We'll see.
Call it.
I'll be honest. I was hating on this Packers team and Aaron Rodgers, and I'll admit that I'll admit that one, okay? It's one of the few ones so far, I'll be honest. You could check out the NFL preview.
Check out the NFL preview, and just for the record, I had them in the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. Jesse.
See, I messed up. I had Steelers and Cowboys. But anyways, Cowboys might make it. But anyways, I think, Green Bay, they've improved a lot. They're a good squad, and they could win this. I could see them winning the NFC North. I don't want to say easily.
Tough division.
But, you really only have to win 4 games, or now 3 games, against, the Bears and Vikings, who are the biggest threats.
Yep.
And if
they'll
you do
they'll
that,
wipe the floor with the Lions.
yeah, and if you do that, then you win,
I think
win
they
the
win
whole
it.
thing.
I think they win it.
Yeah. It comes down to those games, in my
They already
opinion.
have 1 win over the Vikings and the Bears.
Yep.
That's true. So we'll have to see. But, I do think Philly, they'll come out with a purpose this week. If they don't, then I'll stick a fork into them too. Screw you. Hey, Philly, screw y'all. I believed in y'all, and I'm a Steelers fan, and I hate y'all. And I'm from Dallas too, so I hate y'all anyways. But I believe in y'all, and I believe in Carson Wentz and this team to play really hard. But yeah, I believe in the Eagles. Like I said, I'll put a fork in them if they don't win this week. But anyways, that'll wrap up the 5th episode of the Cycle 365. This is Simon Villanos.
I'm Jesse Booten.
I'm Kodey Stauffer. I'm about to head out.
Catch us on social media. Follow us. Check out our website too. We're posting a lot of cool things. Peace.
Hey guys, it's your favorite co-host here, Jesse Booten from the Cycle 365. Here I am back with my 3 videos of the week that will be on our social media, on our website. Check them out. They're gonna be funny. Well, there's a funny one. The funny one is watch a Philadelphia fireman roast Nelson Aguilar for dropping passes. Check that out now. It's pretty funny. If you want to see the best play of the week, watch DeMarcus Robinson catch a one-handed pass from Patrick Mahomes. And if you want to see a crazy play, watch Kyle Juszczyk stiff arm the whole Steelers defense. Peace out.